Hello. How we doing? You finally got me back. So I do hope you're well. You're watching Chris on Real Talk on the 7th of October 2021. My setting is slightly different. I'm moved, um, but it is what it is. So I want to talk about what's been happening. That's been affecting everyone, really. COVID's still a thing. It's not going anywhere for the foreseeable future, and go and get your jab. It's as simple as that. There's a lot of scaremongering about this, that, and the other, and people just ain't getting their jabs. And I'm not seeing the chat on the screen. I can fix that. I can fix that. I can fix that. Let me just. It's been a while. Bear with me. It's been a long, long time. Right, let me just double click that. Paste. There. Go. Voila. There we go. So I can see what's going on in the comments section. So recently, I mean, apart from COVID being a thing, and cough as he says COVID, this could be something that's all linked in together. So there's a big thing with petrol and diesel is a fuel shortage currently. Only there's not a shortage, is there? There's not a shortage. The fuel is there. They're saying that there's no drivers, and now people are blaming Brexit. Well, I can't blame Brexit. I'm sorry, because Brexit happened a while ago, and there's a problem within the last 2 and a bit weeks. So if this was all down to Brexit, it would have happened back then, not now. So you see where I get really funny when I start hearing silly things from silly people. It's Brexit. It's Brexit. No, it's not Brexit. What people don't seem to understand is that there's been a pandemic. People have died. People have lost their jobs. People have been furloughed and lost their jobs. You see, there's all these different contributing factors. Companies that have lost money, okay, they can't afford their drivers. They would have had to have let drivers go. So you got to look at the bigger picture here. Yes, there were drivers from the European Union that were driving here. They weren't the vast majority. They could have stayed if they wanted to, if they'd filled out the paperwork. No one else's fault but their own. They were welcome to stay if they had residence over here. Not a problem. Um, but it's saying there's a shortage of drivers. There's not a shortage of drivers. I'm going to put my tin foil hat on today. My tin foil hat. And this is what I think. And I said this on Facebook the other day. For those of you that have me on Facebook, I said this on Facebook the other day, and the more I thought about it, the more I'm actually thinking maybe there's something to this. All right. So there's a green agenda. Everyone's in the government. They're trying to say get electric cars, get electric cars, get electric cars. No one can afford electric cars, nor do people want to buy electric cars because there's nowhere to plug the bastards in. Pardon me. One-eyed Vapor says, hello, darling. Hello, sweet pea. How you doing? Transport Hub says, hi, Chris. How you doing? Lee Jones, how you doing? Victoria Gray, hi. It's been a long time. Sam Stephen, good noon. Chris, on my way to an in-person uni tutorial. Good stuff. Hope you do well with that. Really good to see you again. Really good to see you too. All about boats. Boats. Hi, Chris. Hi, all about boats. Boats. It's all about boats. Ross McGarry says, nice to see you back. I've missed you, bro. Missed you too, Ross. Ramona's for you. Any excuse to blame Brexit? Yeah, but anyway, look, we're not gonna blame Brexit. The petrol shortage, the diesel shortage. There isn't a shortage. The fuel is there. Is conspiracy hat on. Remember this. I'm not saying this is fact. I'm saying this is a possibility because it popped into my brain, right? So they want to get us to buy electric cars, of which we do not want to buy. We cannot afford to buy electric vehicles, and there's nowhere to plug them in, especially if you live in residential social housing. But that's what they want us to do. So there's a couple of ways of getting us to do that. All right. It's a case of one, make the infrastructure there very, very quickly and make electric cars really affordable. And I mean really affordable, and give us a nice government grant to help go and buy said car, right? That would be the nice thing to do. Or number two, you scare people into saying that there's a fuel shortage, and then everyone goes and does what they've done with toilet paper, and they go and panic buy. When COVID was new, what did people do? They went and bought loads and loads of toilet paper, like COVID gave you explosive diarrhea. People panic buy. That is the nature of people. Okay, now, once the fuel had run out, when people went and panic bought all of the fuel that they're not going to actually need, what do these petrol stations do? What do these refueling stations do? Is they hike up the price. So now you're going to be looking at petrol for a minimum of £1.41 up to a maximum of nearly £1 or over £1.50 per litre. And for those of you that live in the States, you think you've got high fuel costs. I'm talking per litre. Do the exchange rate and you wonder why we get so tetchy over petrol and diesel. We pay ours per litre, not by the gallon. Just think how lucky you are, right? So obviously, if there's a shortage because of, there's no drivers and people were panic buying, supply and demand. If somewhere has fuel, they can charge what they pretty much want for it because you want it, you're willing to pay for it. But no one wants to keep paying for those fill-ups, do they? No, because petrol and diesel will get back into the forecourts. That's going to happen. It's going to happen relatively soon. But the price will stay high. And this is what the government have done. They've planned this because they've gone this. Again, I'm not saying this is fact. This is conspiracy, possibilities. They planned it to tell the media, tell people there's a shortage. So if the media hadn't said a word, right? If no one had said a dicky bird, if no one had known there was a shortage, no one would have gone out and panic bought petrol and diesel. Everyone would have bought it as they normally would. There wouldn't have been a so-called shortage, and the price wouldn't have been hiked up. So this is the brain I have. So just imagine it. If no one knew there was an alleged shortage, would we be in the problem that we're in now, trying to find petrol and diesel? Probably not. I'm not saying that is exactly what happened. I'm saying it's a possibility that could have happened. But it's like I said on Facebook the other day, it's food for thought, isn't it? So even when petrol and diesel does get back into the petrol stations, the price isn't going to go down back to an affordable level. It's not going to. It's going to stay the same price. And people are not going to want to keep paying for fuel. So what do? They bite the bullet. They try and go electric, or at the very minimum, hybrid, or just something. So it's trying and boost the economy with new car sales. You see, it's to push this green agenda. And the thing is, cars over the last 20 years, they've become so good. It's to the point where they just last longer. They do. And if you get a car from brand new in 2004 and you've got it now and you've never had a problem with it, you get it serviced, you get it MOT'd, you look after that car, chances are it will run forever, relatively economically. You see, cars, they last longer. And the longer you've got a car, the less money you're actually spending on buying a new one, because you're not going to buy a new one because you've got a perfectly good car. So this is what I'm saying. It is what it is, I suppose. You can't. Let me read some more of these comments. I saw that comment, and I'm not normally a believer of that, but interesting, this fuel stuff has happened, and then wanting to push electric cars too. You see what I mean? You see what I mean, Jack? Bus driver Stuart, I see that motorway services petrol are £1.58. The media have a lot to answer for. Wow, £1.58. I did not know that. I did not know it was £1.58. That is ridiculous. And yes, the media have got a lot to answer for. They didn't have to say anything. I didn't know there was a fuel shortage until I heard it on the media. No one would have known there was a fuel shortage if no one had said anything. Then no one would have gone and panic bought fuel. It's as simple as that. You know, you might have thought, oh, it's maybe there's none here. I'll go try somewhere else. And you would have got it somewhere else. But no, media's gone absolutely ballistic for petrol and diesel. Everyone's gone shit bloody crazy. And they've all gone and panic bought petrol and diesel. Just like it was when it was COVID and everyone decided to go out and buy toilet paper. Okay, so you need to buy toilet paper. Not a problem. Buy what you need. Don't stockpile about 70 rolls worth. You know, a household of 4 people can go through 2 rolls a week. You know, you panic buying toilet paper as if COVID gave you chronic explosive bowel syndrome. No. If there's a fuel shortage, what do you go and do? I know. When there's no fuel, let me go and buy what I can't get because the media told me to. I can't. But going on about this green agenda anyway, I find it quite funny recently because I've been paying attention. I have been paying attention to Insulate Britain. And let me see if I can get this here. Here we go. Insulate Britain. These, as Boris Johnson calls them, irresponsible crusties. But, you know, you can call them what you want. They've been called many things over the years. Tree huggers, eco warriors, the great unwashed. You can call them Extinction Rebellion if you want. I don't really care. You know, and the thing is, they all do everything for a wonderful cause. They do things like this because they care about the planet. They do. They care about me. They care about you. But they don't really care about me, and they don't really care about you, do they? Because this lovely lot who decide to go and stop motorway traffic of all things, and they put their lives in danger, and they start stopping people from going to and from work, to and from school, stopping emergency vehicles from going anywhere, stopping people from going to see people in hospital. You see, you got this one. You know, I mean, I mean, you're trying to adjust this somewhat. Hang on, wrong one. You know, it does get on my bloody wick. Yeah, there we go. That'll do. That'll do, donkey. You know, it's people that are just stopping traffic. But this is how stupid it is. Let's have a look, see what else we've got. We've got window capture here. Look at that, look. So we've got these wonderful people on the motorway. I mean, look at them. Insulate Britain. Now, I've got a problem with insulating Britain. Is we all know that insulating or insulating, whatever you want, we all know it's a good thing to do. We all know that good home insulation will save you money. It'll be better for the environment. All these wonderful things. But does Insulate Britain want to pay for it for me? I think not. I don't think they want to pay for it, do they? Because the vast majority of people in Britain don't actually own their own home. I don't own my own home. I wish I did own my own home. And people that do own their own homes, do you think they can afford to insulate their entire house because these people say so? I think not. When you've got a mortgage to pay, which can be up to and over, well over £800, up to over £1,000 for the average house, depending on your deposit, and you've got a certain amount of money coming in and you find it difficult to save, you want to try and insulate your home is very, very difficult. Of course it is. If you live in social housing, you rent from a housing association, you rent from the council. You can call them up all you want. I want insulation. I live in a block of flats. It needs to have a cavity wall insulation. Blah, blah, blah. They're not going to do it because it costs too much money. So insulating the country isn't really realistic at this stage because it costs too much. So wonderful thing what they're protesting for. I get it. But it's stupid because not only are they putting their lives in danger and they're stopping people from going where they need to go. Okay, let's have a look. Here we go. Look, what they're actually doing is stopping traffic for hours and hours and hours on end, causing pollution. They're causing more pollution than it's worth. You stop traffic. And the thing is, if you're stopping HGVs, right? HGVs that have got food on them, for example, they can't turn their engines off because if they turn their engines off, then the freezer in the lorry behind the whole, it turns off. Food spoils. So if you're sat on the motorway for 6 or 7 hours waiting for, Spider, let's just call him Spider, some of you will get the reference, to be unglued from the floor or to a truck or to their selves, basically, to other people, and then be removed by the police, these trucks can't turn off their engines because it will stop the freezers from working and it will cause food to spoil. Again, where's that going to go? It's going to go into landfill, isn't it? You've got cars sitting there. Not all cars have start-stop. Not everyone can turn their car off. If it carries on moving, stop, start, stop, start, they can't keep turning their car off. It might be cold in the winter. People don't want to turn their cars off because they'll be cold, won't they? Or maybe people don't want to keep turning their cars on and off because it actually uses fuel to do that. And the thing is, you're stopping people from going to and from work. You are causing this country, you're costing millions and millions of pounds to individual companies, thousands to individual people, depending on who they are and what they do. And you're causing more pollution than it's actually worth. Do what you're doing in a sensible way. Go to Trafalgar Square. Put on a massive awareness campaign about what you're doing. But for the love of God, do not stop people doing what they need to do, because that's not going to, yes, it draws attention to you because you're attention seeking, but it's not going to make anyone sympathetic to your cause. And like I say, the same thing about Extinction Rebellion. I get it. I get why they're doing it. But no one cares anymore because you're a pain in the arse. Every time you block a street, every time you protest about something, people just grow more and more hatred for you. We just don't care anymore. Your protesting was just to start with. We understood what it was about. We got it. We love it at first. But then the more you become a pain in the arse, the more we're not going to care. I personally don't care about this lot in the damn slightest. I just don't care. If they end up getting COVID, I don't care. If they were the first one on the motorway and someone hits them, I don't care about the person that got hit. I care more about the person who hit you, because they then got to live with that for the rest of their lives. I just don't care. So don't do it, because no one cares anymore. It gets on my nerves so damn bad. Get rid of that. Let me get rid of that. Turn that off. And what we'll do is we'll video capture, unlock that. Click on that. Where is it? Where is it? Video capture device. And we're big on the screen again. Let's move it to the middle. So yeah, that's what's pretty much happening. You know, I just thought I'd just have a little chin wag, catch up with people. I'm still here. I've had a lot going on, to be fair. Again, I'm not going to talk about that because it's not something I'm comfortable with. So I agree with you, says Ross McGarry. The fuel, there is, I think, various firms have to put wages up to attract new drivers. I might be right or I might be wrong. Media are 100% awful pal. Yeah, that's very true. But they're saying that there's no drivers. Yeah, there are drivers. There are drivers. And the thing is, truck driving doesn't pay a lot of money. They're saying, oh, you can get 70 grand a year. Yeah, of course you can if you work every hour under the sun and you don't see your family and you have to be away and you get paid overnights and this, that, and the other. Yeah, of course it's possible to do that. But at the expense of having an actual life? No. I'm a bus driver. I could earn a lot of money. I really, really could if I put myself out there and done every single overtime day I possibly could at the expense of my own personal life. No, I'm not going to do that. All drastic protests, says Victoria Gray. I get their point, but every time they happen, it always costs money in some shape or form. That's very true. That's very, very true. And I said that, you know, I agree with what you're saying. My old Volvo diesel did 600,000 K with no issues. Yeah, you see. And the thing is, you love that car. You did love that car. I know you love that car. With this fuel shortage, says Victoria Gray, petrol garages say they are out of diesel and unleaded. I saw a video somewhere, Tesco worker put 60 quid's worth of petrol in his car where it said, sorry, no petrol at the pump. And this is another thing, right? They'll say there's no petrol at the pump. Guarantee every single petrol station has a reserve in their underground tanks which hold the fuel. So they'll get to below a certain level, right? And then they'll switch the pumps off completely, but they have still got fuel. I can guarantee that. It'll be the dregs at the bottom. It ain't going to be the best fuel. Your engine might chug a little bit, and that is a thing. But yeah, they've always got some kind of reserve. I can always guarantee that because you've got emergency, especially with diesel, because you've got emergency vehicles that need to use that diesel. Ambulances, fire engines, not so much. I believe they've got their own. You know, don't quote me on that though. That's what I think, they've got their own. But buses have got their own fuel. They've got their own drivers. They've got their own tankers. That's why you see buses out all the time, because buses are the way forward. Panic buying food too, according to new reports. Is this true? Arjan, I have no idea. I don't know. But again, if people are panic buying, what you've just said there is not helping matters. It's just adding fuel to the fire, unfortunately. So the second you start saying there's a shortage of food, people are panic buying, people will look at this and go, I need to go and buy some chicken. I need to go buy some eggs and ham. Oh no. Toilet paper. So, you know, it's the second you start saying it is when people start doing it. So, no, there's no issue with food in anywhere. Don't believe it. It's all bull. It's all baloney. Also, hi to all. Yes, says Arjan. Hi to you. Hi to you, my friend. Oh no, not those idiots. I don't understand them. How's blocking the road going to help? They're causing more pollution by making people stop, as vehicles will be emitting fumes while stationary, says the Transport Hub. Thank you very much, Jack, for that. Later, Zarjan, take it easy. Hope you're well. Love that impression. Yeah, I do a good one. Fridge lorries still work when you turn the lorry off, as the trailer has separate switches to make fridges work when engine is off. So I'm led to believe. This is okay. Even if that was true, Ross, and freezer or fridge lorries did have a separate, there's only so much battery power that they can have. But I don't believe they've got their own diesel generator at the back. I mean, I could be wrong. They may have. But I believe that whole thing needs to be working from the main engine, because it has to draw power from the engine. So if the engine's switched off, then there's only so long that is going to stay cold for. You know, but either way, you have to think about these things. Seeing the general public are getting fed up with these insulate idiots and taking matters into their own hands and dragging them out the way. Now, that I agree with. However, you've got to be very, very careful, because as annoying and as illegal some of these protests may look and sound, the second you start touching these people, they've got grounds to say, "Oh no, he assaulted me! Oh no, he touched me on the arm!" That's what's going to happen. You know, so you got to look at it and be careful. You have to look at it for what it is. You know, they'll get bored sooner or later. You know, and then it just drives me mad. But the thing is that I understand why they're doing it. If they want to pay to have someone's house in Dulwich insulated that isn't insulated, then fine. Put your hand in your pocket, mister. I'm going to sit on the road and block everything, and you pay for it. If you're that bothered about it, you pay for it. You know, if the government are that bothered about me having an electric car, then they can give me an electric car instead of scaring people into thinking that there's a petrol shortage. So the prices get hiked up. So people end up going to buy electric because they can't afford the fuel anymore. Again, it's not fact. I'm just saying that's how it looks. Okay, to me, that's how it looks. I'm not saying that is exactly what happened. It's just what I think could be happening. It looks that way. So, you know, I've got to cover myself. I have to cover myself. But the beard's coming on. You know, I've got a nice bit of grey. You know, it's starting to go grey on this side as well. A lot of stress lately. But anyway, look, I'm going to go. I wish everyone has an absolutely fantastic, wonderful, wonderful rest of the week. I've no idea when I'm going to be live again, but it's nice to be back. See you later. Take care. Love you lots. Mwah.